are going to be live doing a little short disconnected haircut. All I'm doing right now is just taking away some of this hair underneath on Vanessa's haircut. This is my model Vanessa, and what we're going to be doing today is just a really strong undercut. So all I'm doing underneath here is some classic scissor over comb, just getting this hair down pretty fast. So this is Sally Rogerson here for Hair Brain this morning. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for joining. And we're going to be doing a undercut underneath here. You can see my sectioning on the top. I've just got a triangle in the back and then two rectangles. This hair is going to come down and over, but to start with, I'm really just working on some classic scissor over comb. I'll get this done pretty quickly. I know it's a bit boring sometimes, but I wanted to just mention a few things with the scissor over comb. Obviously, just making sure that you get the bulk off so you can go back in and start to really work into the hair. And the biggest thing here is really seeing that you have a guideline. So just like you would in a normal haircut, you know, just really making sure that you're following that guideline and just taking this hair down pretty quick because I want to do some nice outlines as well. So to start with, I've cut some of this side down as well. I'm just going to get this bulk off really fast and then go back in and refine. Really thinking about what angle do I want to achieve in this underneath area. This is going to be more of an undercut, so I definitely have to think about not coming out too much on my angle. If I come out too much, I'm going to build too much weight and the hair's going to stick out. So when I get to the top, I'm actually going over so I can reduce some of that weight through there. So if you're just joining us, this is Sally Rogerson, and I am here at my new hair salon and academy in Los Angeles. We've just opened an amazing new space, so if any of you are in LA and you'd like to come on over and have a look, I'd love to show you around. I've actually partnered with a friend of mine called Shannon Ra, who's an amazing hairstylist and educator. And so we have a new space here called SR Hair Society, and it's going to be wonderful. We're actually starting to open next week. We also have a really amazing opening party on Sunday, so any of you in the LA area, then please come on down and see us. So just doing some scissor over comb. I normally start my scissor over comb at the bottom and build weight almost like a graduation, but in this instance I'm actually going to be leaving some of this outline out so I can play around with it. So I'm on purpose taking this area out first and not actually starting right at the bottom. So I'm lifting that hair out and just choosing to start higher up, not right down into that bottom area, because I want to be able to play around with that afterwards. Making sure you're keeping your scissors and comb moving all of the time. So you can see I'm leaving some of this out right now. Just taking some of the density out. To me, scissor over comb is, you know, a very important technique. And it's, you know, it can be a form of graduation. It can also be a form of layering. It depends on what you do with your comb at the end. Are you coming out and building weight like a graduation? Or are you flattening and almost layering it? So scissor over comb to me is all about just keeping your scissors and comb moving smoothly so you're not getting too many lines. And you can see I'm just working a bit more into a V through there, and then I'm going to come in and do some carving in the outlines. So this will be a disconnected haircut. We'll actually pull the top area down afterwards and work on that too. I'm going to go into my outline work now. and just start to leave some of this, and it's a little bit like, you know, just kind of drawing in what you want to see using the tips of your scissors, just as if it was a pen, taking away some of that fluff hair as well, cleaning up that outline. So I can really just start to carve and start to design now, just seeing what I want to see. To me, it's all about hairlines. It's all about really reading the hairline and seeing what you want to do in that hairline, and getting a little bit more shaping through there. I'm leaving something in the middle, and then I'll start to work the outlines because I don't want to leave too much of that heavy corner on there, so I'm just taking that off. And then you can see through here, I'm leaving a little bit of hair so I can play around with it and decide what I want to do. Take some of that hair off underneath here. So Vanessa is one of my models from when I actually used to be the senior creative director in the Sassoon Academy in Santa Monica. And we have been reunited, right? I don't think I've cut your hair for about 10 years, but I still remember your hairline. So Vanessa's got such a great hairline. I love working with it. I just remembered. It's like so nice. You can do anything you want to with it. What I wanted to also share with you is just when you're working around the ear, sometimes it's really hard to get to that hair behind the ear. So a nice little trick is just using your thumb to hold that hair, to hold that ear down and out of the way, and then just move your comb so you can start to actually get in and clean up those hairs around the ear. I like to be in control of the ear as well, just in case somebody moves or something happens. I know clients like to hold their own ear, but I think it can be a bit dangerous, you know, if somebody sneezes or something. It's hard to talk and scissor-over-comb. So just coming through and just doing a little bit more cleaning up through here. And then I'm going to decide how much of this longer area I want to keep. I'm also using my comb and pivoting it round just so I can read those growth patterns and really try and get all of those little bits and pieces. Obviously you can use clipper as well. I have no problem with scissor-over-comb or clipper work. I like both. And now really I'm just creating and deciding how much of this area I want to keep or not. So I'm just going in with my comb instead of my fingers and smoothing this out, deciding how much of that I want to keep. And obviously you can use a trimmer as well. Whatever you're comfortable with. For me personally, you know, it's however you feel comfortable with your tools. Kind of like some of this softer area, and I kind of like some of the rawness in that hairline as well. Don't really want to make it like too perfect. Kind of really liking this this vibe with it, this kind of slightly homemade feeling with it. How's everyone doing this morning? It is, what day is it? Thursday. So happy Thursday morning, everyone. I know a lot of you in the salon, so if you're watching this afterwards, then thank you for watching it. My name is Sally Rogerson. I have an independent hair company called SR Education, and we actually train staff, train salons, train in schools with our program. And you can come join us for lots of different classes, whether it be more classic haircut in color. And all of our new advanced classes are all going to be in this fabulous new space that I'm in. And it's here in Koreatown. And we would love to see some of you here soon.
let us know if you have any questions.
Yeah, of course. I'll talk about anything. It doesn't have to be relevant always to the haircut that I'm doing, you know. This is a bit more of a fun, creative haircut, but we also work a lot with classic work and foundational work as well, so can answer anything. Also, if any of you know any stylists in the LA area, we are looking for staff. We've just opened our new salon. So whether you are a new person just out of school, we are going to have an amazing mentorship program. So if you're out of school, just graduated, and or just feel like you need a bit more training and support to feel confident with your work, then we are looking for newer hires that we can train and then put you on the floor in our salon. But we are also looking for staff that already have a clientele. We've got some beautiful little mini suites inside here as well. So I think anyone that has or wants a bit more privacy, or maybe wants to get out of the suite that they're in and be part of something more, then we are here for you. So I'm just working the weight out of here, deciding how much of this I want to keep or not. You can see it's just getting a little bit lighter now. And then we're keeping a little bit of this back area. Vanessa at one point had a very long tail at the back. Do you remember that one? So maybe we'll start to cultivate that one again. I'm not sure, we'll see. How long did you get it?
Down to my chest. It was so great, and it curled.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll come back and refine afterwards, but what I want to do is really just start onto this top area. So first of all, I have a triangle at the back. This is really just covering that flatter area of the head. And we are going to, first of all, work into that. You can see that it falls over the top of this underneath area. And really, this is what Vanessa's hair needs, because, you know, there's a lot of density in there, a lot of bulk. And so therefore it's nice to have that underneath flattened down and removal of weight. And then we have the opportunity to now lay this hair over the top. So how I'm going to work with this is, first of all, just working into more of a layer. So I'm going to lift this hair up, and we are going to start to work from shorter to longer. I want this hair to fall over the top. So I'm deciding how much I want this hair to fall over and how much disconnection, and thinking about where do I want this to land. So it's almost like you're making a new guideline. So you have to really think about what's the end result that I'm going for. So for me, I'm going to work this way from the bottom up, comb this hair up, and then I can actually hold this hair, let it fall down over, and decide how much of this length I want to take away. So you can cut this more cleanly, you can point cut it, you can use a razor, whatever you feel like. But ultimately I'm setting in the guide so the hair can fall over the top. So I have this nice overhang, but because I layered it, I still have a little bit of lift through there as well. Now your over direction is really dependent on how much length you want to keep down here. And I do like having that length behind there. So I'm going to over direct the hair in a little bit more and maintain a little bit more of those corners through there. So I'm looking at the hair, feeling the hair, deciding, is that sitting up enough for me? So I'm always trying to read it. If it's not sitting up enough, then, and you can see I'm getting some body there. If it's still flat, then I probably would go back through and change my angle. So just bringing everything into this middle area. I'll go back through, probably do some more pointing, etc. afterwards. Just setting in the initial phase. And you can see that that is laying in really nicely. You know, the idea to me is that yes, it's disconnected, but I want it to ultimately just lay in really well. That's why I'm not cutting an outline into it. I'm cutting it from the interior and not cutting the exterior yet. So you can see that that lays down into it and it's working well with the outline as well. And then I'll go to the other side and do the same thing. Hope you guys are doing really well today. And it's really nice to be back here. Thank you to Hairbrain. Been lucky enough to know Hairbrain for many, many years. My background is with the Sassoon organization. I started in England when I was about 16 and met some really amazing people. Moved to LA and I was the senior creative director in the LA Academy. And then about 10 years ago, I actually left and started my own program, which is called SR Education. I've got about 15 different teachers across the US as well. And you know, we love to come to you, we love to come and do things inside your salon. So if you feel like you'd like a little class for your team, you can always just text us on Instagram or email me. Okay, so I'm going to go through now into this top area and I'm going to simply over direct back and up because I want to maintain some length to start with. So I'm going to come up and back right now and connect everything in to here to start with. So this is just my base. This is all I'm doing right now, but I will go back in and do a lot more detailed work and do my outline secondary. I know in school, for example, a lot of people are always taught to do the outline or the perimeter first, but I really enjoy cutting the interior first and doing the exterior second. So bringing everything back to there. You can see how this is falling down really nicely over the top now. Again, I'll be doing my outline work secondary. We'll see what we're going to do in that front area as well. Vanessa's had all hair that you can think of and imagine, right? You've had fringes, you've had long, and you buzzed it off as well, didn't you, recently?
Yeah, a few years ago.
How did that feel?
Awesome.
Was it?
Yeah.
Cool.
I had a half row, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. We even permed it a few times. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Wow. You really have had it all, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's great when you've got models that you've been doing their hair for a while because you know their hair history a little bit. All right, so I've just gone over the top of the parting as well just to check that that works. And now it's really just a case of what do I like? You know, to me, it's all about your finishing skills and no one can take that away from you because that's really just your style and developing something really special for that client in the chair. I'm just going to dry the hair just a little bit and I'll put a touch of the Arco chiffon. I'm going to use a little bit of that right now. And I like to just apply it in the comb so I can get a bit more control and put it into the areas specifically that I want to add it to. You know, I think how you're putting in your product is really important as well, isn't it? Don't just stick a big lump on. So just working this through, then I'm going to quickly dry the hair just with a flat brush or even with your fingers. It won't take too long on that, I promise, and then we'll get to some beautiful finishing work. Always putting that product in that front hairline, especially if there's any cowlicks or anything like that. You've got to really nail that down. How's everyone doing this morning? You doing good?
Yes, seem to be.
Good, good, good. So it's lovely to be here, and I know everyone's busy in the salon today. There's been a lot of things going on. I've been at some events as well with strategies all weekend in Chicago. There's a lot of things on right now with different companies. So hair is coming back. I feel like the industry is getting back to a bit more where we used to be. So that's a really good sign. I'm just going to dry this pretty quick with a paddle brush, just a Wires Park paddle brush. So just wrap drying, keeping the hair quite flat. And then I'm going to work on it afterwards. So just leafing, smoothing the hair down a little bit. I don't want to make it super, super, super perfect. I like a bit of texture in the hair still. But I want this crown to sit down properly, and I need to be able to finish the hair correctly as well. So nice to be able to dress that hair behind the ear as well. That length in the front is kind of quite nice. I think with Vanessa's hair, like a lot of your clients, it's all or nothing. It's either more of a fringe look or something they can still tuck behind and deal with. That in between is tricky. Not really working it off of a parting, allowing me to be able to work the hair different ways after I've dried it.
We have a question.
Okay.
What's the easiest way to learn Scissor-over-comb, or any tips there?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
What's the easiest way to learn Scissors-over-comb, I believe?
I think to overcome.
Okay. Very good. It's really just a case of practicing it. And we do actually have an online classroom which shares with you how to do it, and you can follow along just with a doll head or a person in the chair. So you can go to
It's learn-srhairsociety.com.
Okay, and then if you go to SR Society webpage, is it on there?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So if you would like some extra help, our online classroom is there for you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Sean was
sorry.
actually asking, what is the easiest way to learn Scissor-over-comb?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what we were talking
yeah.
about. Yeah, so Scissor-over-comb SOC is, it's something that you really want to practice a lot. And to me, it's really a case of starting with larger combs. So I always start with a wider, thicker, larger comb, because you're not going to make the hair go so short. And then you would slowly go down onto smaller and finer combs. And so basically it's the same concept as a clipper in a way, because as your combs get thinner and as the teeth get finer, you will end up going shorter and shorter and shorter. So the best way to learn it is if you find a bunch of old doll heads, ask anyone if they have any old doll heads that they're finished with, and just get as many as you can, and start with a wide tooth comb like this kind of wider tooth comb is best to start with, or a jumbo comb. This one is getting thinner, as you can see, so that's going to get a bit shorter. And then eventually go down to smaller teeth comb and then a barbering comb. So the key things to remember with scissor-over-comb are keeping your scissors and your comb moving together smoothly. If you stop and start, you'll get lines in it. Always trying to create like a C so that your comb is coming out at the top. And I generally would start right at the bottom. Today I didn't because I left the hairline out. But yeah, we have a lot of scissor-over-comb videos on our classroom if you would like to follow along with us. Thank you for your question. I hope that helped.
He said thank you.
And then there's always the question of, you know, when to use a clipper and when to use the scissor-over-comb. I think it's really important to learn both, personally. To me, I'll use clipper over comb when I want to get a lot of bulk off. So if I know I want to get hair short pretty quickly, then I'll use clipper over comb just to get that weight off. And then I'll use scissor over comb to refine, etc. But you know, if I'm doing fades and that kind of stuff, then I love working with clippers. But I like the fact, and I like to know that I can use both, either a machine or my scissors. And I think that it's kind of how you're feeling that day as well. I'm just ironing the hair a little bit so I can do the final finishing. Try and get this bit done a bit faster for you guys so you can get to the fun stuff. Now, obviously, your finishing is really deciding what kind of end result you want to achieve in the perimeter. Do you want it to be soft? Do you want it to be clean? Like, what are you after? So if you want it to be softer, then obviously you can go in more freehand, more piecey. If you want it to be stronger, then you can go in with more of a line technique. Let's have a look. So all I'm doing is creating a nice flat canvas that I can then go back into and work on. So if any of you are in LA, please come and see us on Sunday night. We have an opening party. We have a lot of different artists coming to share some time with us. Hair cutting, color demonstrations. There'll be definitely a little bit to drink, a little bit to eat, and we really just want to celebrate the salon. So if you'd like to come on down, we'd love to see you on Sunday. Okay, so you can see I'm now combing all of the hair to this side. I'm just ironing it this way so I can completely just sweep the hair around. Okay, so this is where we're at now. And this is when I'm going to start to do my finishing techniques. You can see that the hair really works either way. I've done my interior now, and I'm going to go into my outline work. So obviously, if you want to come in and do something really graphic and strong, then you can just simply close your scissors, lift the hair up, and then you've got to decide how much of this do you want to see or not. Now I can come in and do something really clean and strong like this. So if you want something to fall stronger, then that's really great. I can also work a little bit more with a pointing technique if I want it to be a bit softer. So using your scissors or your shears, whatever you want to call them, in different ways is the key through here. So what kind of line do you want to see? Do you want it to be soft? Do you want no line? I can go in and make it really soft as well through there. And obviously I can also come in and start to work with more of a slicing technique as well. So this is when you really put your own spin on things and you really start to look at the client and see what does this client want, what's going to suit them. I'm just looking for it to blend in really nicely as well. So I'm keeping it a little bit softer. This will allow for Vanessa's natural texture when she wears it more natural to come into play as well. I really like some of that hair sitting behind the ear as well. So I'm going to come into this area now. Sorry. And I like to use the tips of the scissors as well, just to gently reduce a little bit of bulk. So hardly anything. I'm literally just opening and closing the scissors like minutely, and I'm cutting on the way down. So I'm cutting the hair on the way down and just taking some bulk out. And I'm taking quite a lot of hair out that way. What that does is allow me to keep that length behind the ear, but just get rid of some bulk. You can see it's sitting really nice and flat and nicely through there. So you can see it's sitting in, you can see it's quite bulky there where I haven't done it yet. So I'm just using my scissors in different ways. I think it's important to, be able to do different techniques and different finishes with your scissors. Nothing wrong with using a razor as well. I love working with razors. We have a beautiful 2-day razor class as well. So if any of you want to get to grips with that. It's just so great to be able to have classes happening again and for us all to be able to get that sense of community back. So all I'm doing is keeping a lot of the length in this lower area. You can see all of that's disconnected, it's falling over. And I'm just blending it in, not putting anything too hard in here. What I'm doing is reducing some bulk and volume. And you can see where I haven't done it, and you can see where I have done it. So all this is doing is surface slicing. Just very gently stroking the hair, hardly opening the scissors at all. This is just smoothing it down, making it slim and lean. Sometimes I'll do this surface stuff with a clipper as well. It's nice to work the surface sometimes. Also, I'm using my scissor like this, opening and closing, so it's horizontal. If I wanted to go deeper, I would use my scissor more vertically, and that would have more of an impact going inside in the hair. Okay, so just starting to work this area in. I'm going to go into this outline, loosen it up a little bit as well. So the whole point of this is that all of this is cut very short on the underneath. The reason for doing that is to get some of the bulk off of Vanessa's hair. The hair tends to kind of poke out a little bit, so getting this hair down makes it a little bit flatter and allows the hair to sit in very gently into the underneath. This allows the hair as it grows out to stay a bit flatter to the head and not go too big and boofy. Some hair does not like being overly finished and overly layered on the top. Sometimes it reacts badly. And I'm just going to blend this outline into that underneath outline as well. I'm just deciding how much of this I want to keep or not. I like a few bits and pieces in the outline, but obviously you can make it all the same if you want to. So I think I'm just going to take a little bit of hair out through there as well. Just to slim that down. And just to allow us something hidden underneath there that can be shown or not shown. Okay, so over to the other side, and you can see now as we're starting to dress the hair, you can see how I'm just really playing with it, moving the hair around. Start to use your fingers, dress the hair a little bit more editorially. I haven't got any product in here apart from the stuff I put in before. I'm just using my fingers to try and create something and see what the hair will do. So I'm going to start to go through into the other side. Again, removing some weight from there. How's she looking?
Lovely.
Lovely. Is that how you want to look, Vanessa?
It's better than that.
All right, so just again going back into this side. Again, I still want this hair to fall behind the ear. And then I'll bring this hair back over. And then really just a case of slicing now, directional slicing. So short to long. Remember, short hair pushes long hair. So I want it to come over this way. So all I need to do is to slice the hair this direction. And you can see already, and again, there's no product on here, but you can see the impact that this has already just from slicing that hair in the direction you want it to go in. So remember, your free hand has a lot of, impact. If I slice straight down, the hair just falls straight down. If I slice in a direction, then the hair is going to push in that direction. Going back through now, doing a little bit of pointing, softening internally. So this is one of those haircuts that kind of comes together at the end. You do all of that raw work, and then this is where you put it all together, refine it, and make decisions on what you want to achieve at the end. Whereas a lot of the times, if you put your outline in first, you've already committed and you haven't really got a feeling of the hair yet. So it's nice to work internally sometimes and then allow yourself to read the hair, refine the hair, and work with it. It's as if you were growing plants, kind of talking to the hair in your head all of the time. That's what I'm doing all the time, Vanessa. You don't know, but I'm like talking to the hair, making it sit properly. There's lots of magic going on to connect with the hair. Okay, so I'm enjoying what that's doing now. I like that texture and that movement and that softness. It looks really cool. And then I'll just do some final slicing work and we'll do some finishing on the product and dressing. Personally for me, I know for myself I don't like wearing haircuts that are too perfect. I hate things that are totally balanced. I like hair to have a bit more personality than that, to be honest. So all I do is get some product in there first. Remember, I'm not trying to style the hair, I'm just trying to get some product in there first. What am I using? I'm using, I've never used this before, I'll be honest. Sandcastle. Sounds good, right? So we'll get a little bit of product in there and then really start to use your fingers and really start to rub the hair together. What this does is creates texture. No one's saying you're going to send the client out looking like that. All you're doing right now is just developing texture in the hair, and then you'll go back and refine it, style it, and do everything that you want to. Just going to get rid of some hair for Vanessa first before we style it. Oh, it's going down the back, sorry. You okay? Just like the old days, huh? So,
Change clothes.
yeah. So just working into that hair, getting some different texture in there. So I like to do the finishing touches without the chair. So I'm going to pull the chair away this way, and you're going to stand in place of the chair. Perfect. Okay, so here we go. I'm just using a Mason and Pearson to move that hair around a little bit more. And then I like to get in there and put a bit more fun texture in with my hands. Yeah, I'm remembering now, we did that whole poem. That was crazy, wasn't it? That was like 12 years ago. Just put a bit more of this in. Really into hair off the face at the moment as well, I think. That's super nice look. Just a bit kind of more animated. Don't be scared to get your hands in there, get some different texture going on. And then I'll just go in with my dressing brush and decide which bits of it do I like, which bits of it I don't like. All right, so just slowly turn around for us. So this is Vanessa, and we've just done, you know, a little bit of undercut work in that back area. We left some fun little tendrils and some fun little things going on in the outline. This is all completely undercut through here, and then just laid back down and over. And then kind of like the side profile look with this little bit of hair still. It can be tucked behind. I like the shape that we're getting off the face. Alright, I think we're there. Turn around for me. We'll do a little mini photo shoot and put some stills up on our Instagram a bit later on. But that is my final look. Thank you so much to Vanessa, and thank you all so much for joining us. If you're watching it on the replay, we appreciate you too. Thank you to our Hair Brain for allowing me this opportunity, and I hope you all have a great day.